Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Third Samson, and I will report the third part of Microsoft Corporation. For the third part, we will discuss about security policies, laws, and computer crime investigations. Security policies are guidelines and practices established to safeguard information, assets, and technology. Along with these policies are the presence of laws related to cybersecurity to govern legal aspects of digital activities and aim to prevent and address computer crimes. Computer crime investigation involved the application of legal and technical procedures to identify, track, and prosecute individuals involved in unauthorized access, data breaches, or other illicit activities in the digital realm. Altogether, they form a comprehensive framework for ensuring the security and integrity of digital systems and data involved. So this is the table of contents for the third part, exploring Microsoft security policies, laws, and computer crime investigations. For the first part, for the, Microsoft's principal approach to cybersecurity, it is risk-based, outcome-focused, prioritized, practicable, respectful of privacy and civil liberties, and globally relevant. Understanding national threats through threat modeling. The four major categories of cyber threats. First, conventional cybercrimes. These crimes include cases in which computers are targeted for traditional and criminal purposes or used as tools to commit traditional offenses, including fraud, theft, theft of intellectual property or financial instruments, abuse or damage of protected information technology systems, and even damage of critical infrastructure. These crimes span those committed by individual hackers through those committed by organized crime entities. Second, military and political espionage. These attacks include instances in which nation-states intrude into an attempt or succeed to exfiltrate large amounts of sensitive military data from government agencies or the military-industrial base, or use third parties to do so on their behalf. Third, economic espionage. This category applies to governments stealing intellectual property that was created in other nations or tolerating domestic companies stealing information from foreign competitors. The fourth, cyber conflict or cyber warfare. Asymmetric warfare has significant implications for cyber attacks, since the Internet makes it possible for anonymous and difficult to trace individuals or organizations with slight resources to engage a nation-state in cyber conflict. Recently, 15 governments including China, Russia, and the United States agreed that the United Nations Charter applies in cyberspace and affirmed the applicability of international law to cyberspace. Understanding threat models and risk assessments help define the priorities of a national strategy. In turn, these priorities should provide guidance to regulators and infrastructure owners and operators managing the most significant risks to a nation's ICT infrastructure. In setting clear priorities and establishing a security baseline for a national strategy, there are four principles that should remain front of mind for governments. First, strategy should be outcome focused, second, prioritized, third, practicable, and fourth, globally relevant. Policy foundations need for use of cloud for resilience and continuity. So in our country, the Philippines, cloud first policy. The announcement in January 2017 of a cloud first policy in the Philippines needs to be seen in the context of the government's objective to increase its cybersecurity and resilience, as per the National Cybersecurity Plan 2022. The government's decision to endorse cloud computing is driven by the desire to cut costs, increase employee productivity, and improve citizen online services. At the same time, the government is consciously moving away from legacy systems in an effort to improve the cyber resilience of its operations. The cloud-first model enhances government ICT resiliency and security as version upgrades to both hardware and software are managed by the cloud service provider. As governments and other public sector entities are revisiting their existing frameworks to embrace a cyber resilience posture, they should particularly look to prioritize the following. First, invest in robust broadband infrastructure. Second, modernize procurement rules and requirements. Third, assess data residency requirements. Fourth, utilize international standards for security assurance. Fifth, allow for a level of flexibility and auditing of cloud vendors. And sixth, encourage transparency between all parties involved. Microsoft Cyber Resilience Best Practices. First, identify key threats and assess their impact on critical systems and functions. Second, classify and prioritize critical services. Third, set cyber resilience goals and objectives. Fourth, develop desired cyber resilience outcomes and identify and test capabilities. Fifth, define roles and responsibilities and determine resources needed. Microsoft's recommendations on resilience and continuity in the cloud. Number one, adopt the posture of cyber resilience and digital continuity. For all organizations, cyber resilience and digital continuity begin with strategic decisions that signal change across a range of areas from cybersecurity posture to data classification. Second, determine which data and services will be migrated to the cloud. Public sector organizations should each have their own data classification framework in place, and their data and services should already be assessed, classified, and treated in accordance with the risk profiles assigned in those frameworks. Third, establish a prioritized list of government services for cloud migration. In addition to understanding what data should be considered essential in terms of cyber resilience, governments should consider prioritizing their various government services and databases as critical to the functioning of the government. These perspectives should incorporate a wider selection of services than those already identified under critical, vital, or essential services, upon which life and well-being depend. These services should include information systems, where unavailability for any significant period of time would be unacceptable, for example, land or tax records. Fourth, implement pilot projects to test established technical and policy requirements for use of cloud computing in the public sector. Governments, regions, and cities should partner with the industry to develop and implement pilot projects to address any concerns or unanswered questions they might have. Fifth, update public policy as needed to enable the use of cloud computing for cyber resilience. Policies that predate cloud computing sometimes inadvertently erect barriers to its adoption, in particular in the public sector. Sixth, develop the technical Sixth, develop the technical process of migrating data and services to the cloud. Critical to any successful migration of data and services to the cloud, as well as to digital continuity, is developing and understanding the processes and procedures that govern it. This should, amongst other things, include understanding what the type of data has been approved for migration and addressing how failover of particular government services to the cloud should be managed. These need to be agreed upon ahead of the process beginning, to be documented, and to be repeatable. And to be repeatable. Seventh, rely on established best practices for proof of efficacy of security practices in place. Public sector organizations continue to view cloud computing with a level of concern as its adoption is often perceived as a loss of control. To address this challenge, we recommend governments adopt international security standards as part of their procurement processes to help them better understand how vendors manage security in their products and services. Moreover, we encourage them to require appropriate proofs of the efficacy of security capabilities in place. Eighth, conduct regular reviews of the policies and processes in place. To be able to effectively respond to the evolving cybersecurity threat landscape, governments need to ensure that they continuously monitor the risk environment and conduct regular risk assessments in cybersecurity exercises. Conclusion for the first, second, and third part of this report. Let's go back to the previous slide. Microsoft's experience in protecting intellectual property offers valuable lessons for companies across industries. The company adeptly balances collaboration and protection, navigating the intricacies of open source engagement while safeguarding proprietary innovations. Strategic patent portfolio management, emphasizing quality over quantity, underscores the importance of investing in patents that align with long-term goals and contribute to effective protection. Microsoft's global operations highlight the necessity for nuanced intellectual property management, adapting adapting strategies to comply with diverse legal frameworks. The company's adaptability to industry trends showcases the importance of flexibility in protecting innovations in the dynamic technology landscape. Challenges to fully embracing this technology remain, however. These are not primarily technical. Most on-premise applications in place today allow for what is a fairly simple shift, although the transition needs to be carefully planned and executed. The essential challenges are ones of perception and policy. The reward for states, regions, and cities that embrace the cyber resilience prospects afforded by cloud computing and that overcome the policy and technical challenges faced will not be limited to safeguarding the operability and continuity of their essential functions and services. The wider opportunities of the technology for public and private sectors, from government agencies to startup entrepreneurs, will be all easier to embrace thanks to the supportive legal and policy framework that will result from this process. As Bill Gates said, surround yourself with people who challenge you, teach you, and push you to be your best self. That's all. Thank you for watching.